Please rise for our 2015 Oasis graduates.
Good evening and welcome. I want to add my word of welcome to you. Thank you for coming this evening to support our graduating class of 2015. They are a smaller class than we've had in recent years, but they are extremely quality group. I have spoken to teachers who have had them this year who have told me what a joy it is to teach them, that they're so bright and interactive and they have a good camaraderie with one another. You can tell they're bright by the number of gold and white cords that you see around their necks tonight. But we are very proud of each and every one of you, and we are here to celebrate you tonight. This evening, we will hear a keynote address from our very own Mr. Puckett, secondary principal, who has been your class sponsor, one of them, this year and in recent years. And after that, we will present the diplomas, following which you will have the opportunity to share a few pearls of wisdom from what you've learned, and we look very much forward to that. So, without further ado, I will turn it over to Mr. Puckett.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Thank you, graduating class. I have several pages of things I want to say, and I know you're all going, but I want to reiterate something here. This is supposed to be a keynote, and there are a few key things within these notes that I just want to leave with. You see, I mean, here's the thing. It's my job to do something. We all have jobs. It's my job to teach. It's your job to study. It's your job to learn. Right now, it's my job to talk. And it's your job to listen. If I do this well, I finish my job before you do. So, to start with, I want to impart something to you that actually I thought of this past weekend as we were sitting on a boat. I want to tell you that you are never too small to make a difference. If you think you're too small, you've never been in bed with a mosquito. You can make a difference. But what kind of a difference? Are you ready to make a difference? I'd like to tell you that you are now prepared to go out and make something of yourselves. But I won't. Now here's why. And why being my favorite question. Instead, I want to talk about something that you will make of yourselves instead of talking about you. You see, you've already proven yourselves to be much more than capable students. In fact, you've shown yourselves to be exceptional students in many, many occasions. All of you have blown me away with your abilities and your diligence. Not all the time, but most. And I count myself honored to see that work. You've learned where commas go and where they don't. You've learned how to express your ideas and to think critically of the ideas of others. You've learned how the laws of physics describe the material world and how a cell wall moves nutrients in and out. You've learned how the human equation is quite sickly. Not sick, but sickly. As in, unfortunately, we tend to repeat the failures of our predecessors. You have a sense of place in this world, but right now you're asking yourself, where is that place in this world that I'm supposed to be? Yeah, I remember when I was in your shoes. I know you're talking like, you don't remember yesterday. I do remember when I was in your shoes. I was certain of many things, but where I wanted to go was not one of them. I wanted to make a difference, but I did not know how. I wish I had been told something that I now know. I wish I had been told about this something that we're supposed to make ourselves into. The easiest way for me to do this is to read a poem to you that I did not write. It's written by a poet named Robert Fuller. And it summarizes an enormous amount of true wisdom. It goes like this. All I really need to know, I learned in kindergarten. All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but there in the sand pile at Sunday school. These are the things I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. I wish I really would have learned that well. Clean up your own mess. My children, do you hear this? Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some. Draw some and paint some. Sing and dance some and play and work some. Every day. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out in the world, watch out for traffic. Hold hands and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed used in the styrofoam cup? The roots go down and the plant comes up. Nobody really knows why. But we're all like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seed died. And so do we. And remember the Dick and Jane books that you learned your first words from. And the biggest word of all. Look. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule, love, basic sanitation, ecology and politics and equality and sane living. Take any of those items and extrapolate it into a sophisticated adult term and apply it to your family life, or your work life, or your world. These words always hold true. Think what a better world it would be if the entire world stopped at 3 o'clock and had cookies and milk. And then we lay down with our blankets for a nap. Or if the governments of the world had a basic policy to always put things back where they found them and to clean up their own mess. And it is still true, no matter how old you are, or where you are, or with whom you are. When you go out, it's best to hold hands and stick together. You see, we've been trying to teach you these things since kindergarten. In school here, we teach you about reading, writing, arithmetic, but we also teach you about responsibility and love and caring and helping each other. See, these are the some things that we need to worry about. What we wish to show you as teachers are these some things that truly give a full and satisfied life. And to this end, the best advice I can give you is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. To love your neighbor as yourself. To make something of yourself is satisfying. Following these words will make you something. You see, satisfaction comes not from what we can get, or even what we get to do, but what we get to give. We all need to be reminded of this, myself included. All your teachers work very, very hard, and we do it for you. So we say to ourselves as we grumble about being here at times. But we see your bright faces, and we see the light bulbs go on in your head, and we know that giving you that experience is what is bringing us a full and satisfying life. So are you prepared to make a difference? See, being prepared to make a difference is not about saving the world. Someone else has already done it. Making a difference in life comes from the way in which we serve each other, wherever we are. For it is in serving that we find true satisfaction. So when you are presented with future choices about how to make something of yourselves, I want you to ask this question. How is this going to help those around me find peace in life? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bucket. Minso Bike. Oliver Reed Larson. Somi Ryu. Sophie Isabel Senecal. Common Song.
for coming to our graduation and spending time for us and celebrating our graduation together. It has been the day that I have always been waiting for my graduation. When I first came to Oasis, I was in 10th grade, and it was my first time taking classes in English, which was kind of frustrating to me. So for me, after the first day that I spent in Oasis, I felt kind of strange to be here, and I didn't think that I belonged to here. So I went back to my home and sit down and set my D-Day timer to my graduation. At that point, I really wanted to just graduate and be done with all of those frustrating stuff. And I can probably say that it was my job to remind my classmates about how many days left till our graduation. I reminded them from 200 days remaining at the beginning of this year, and 3 days remaining during the senior year. And for the last time, I can tell you that this is the day that we have high school. We are pretty much proud. This week, our officially graduating. And I want to briefly explain the first impression that I had of Oasis. It might be kind of offensive version. I'm so sorry. As I look back at this point, I think I was pretty disappointed because Oasis was not best or the ideal international school that I always heard about. Before I came to Turkey, I watched several American movies or high school dramas, which wasn't that good. And I thought that international schools or American schools are full of freedom and parties every night. But here, as I came to Oasis, I had something like a dress code, and the only party that exists is with but still, nevertheless, I think attending Oasis was the best choice that I have ever made. I had really good, I had an incredible experience in Oasis, and that was the most meaningful education that I have ever received. I learned how to think, how to establish my own philosophy, how to perceive the world in a positive way, and how to pursue my dream. My teachers guided me, and my friends were always there encouraging me, and my parents supported me with their best. Thank you to all who have always been there for me, especially Daniel Wise, James Franco, Rex Fogg, Carissa Campbell, Samantha Pocket, and Mr. Pocket, Mrs. Benedict, and Mrs. Leonard. Thank you all for being such wonderful teachers and encouraging me whenever I felt miserable about not understanding or frustrated about my college stuff. Yes, it was my dream to call you guys the first name. And my fellow seniors, thank you for making me perfect. I appreciate how you guys completed my sentences whenever I forget which word to use or how wording it. And also how you guys corrected my pronunciation, such as sheep and sheep. How you guys made my senior year so memorable. I won't forget it ever. And for my parents, I might want to stick in Korea for a second. Oh my god, I just want to fail. Thank you all people who love and care about me more than what I deserve. Thanks so much.
Hey.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Great.
Good. Bad. Maybe a little bit both. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Seeing us up here. It's also really kind of strange seeing you guys down here as well. Did you guys actually ever think the city would come? Time is really pain, huh? Those moments you want to last forever, they whiz by, but then those moments which, suck, they last a really long time. You all know what high school is like. I don't have to say which one of the two kind of felt like. Honestly, I couldn't wait to get out of here. High school to me is kind of like a large pot, constantly boiling over and too hot to do anything about. So you kind of just leave it there and hope it stops being so angry at you. It's full of terrible ingredients that smell funny and look funny, so they don't quite know what to be yet. They just want the pot to stop teaching about pancreases and why they're so important, and also figure out why the pot thinks it's so important. As you can tell, it's very stressful. High school is difficult. You're not supposed to be happy about it, and if you are, you seriously should consider writing a thesis about why you think so, and then be deemed unsafe for society and be taken back to whatever utopia you hail from. Because, yeah. High school is difficult because it's kind of like life before life actually starts, except you don't lose your job. Another stream of honesty. When this year started, things were actually pretty terrible for me. But then I met people, and the funny thing about people is you can really like them. And for me, this was nice because I myself don't really enjoy spending time with myself. And now that the pot wasn't so bad, then I had people to complain about pancreases with. Doesn't make much sense, what am I met a lot of people in life. I became used to seeing them come and go, but I managed to forge some great friendships. It was interesting having people around that actually wanted to spend time with me, but it was probably difficult for them when I really didn't, like being with me. I'm a wonky ingredient, like a carrot. I'm pointy and people don't really like me. I've had a lot of friends, they've come and go. It's an international school. And that's just sometimes the way. People come and go. But what really is worse is when you actually lose a friend. And at the beginning of this year, because of something really stupid, I thought I lost my remaining friend. So I was very, very not ready to start this year. But as I said before, I met people, and I met someone who I guess would be like an onion. I'm still using, cooking metaphors. I thought my final year of high school was going to be something terrible, and I was, severely upset. But then things turned out to be fine. That whole situation that I thought was really bad turned out to, mellow out, and I was actually happy. And I was happy with myself, because people actually, I started realizing that, I'm not so bad. And I was content for once. But then I realized, because of these people, I was no longer so desperate to leave. This time it was me who was leaving, and that felt really awkward. The carrot developed a heart. High school taught me that it's each other and us that really matter. We can't live life alone. We're not looked up that way. Of course we don't like each other and just want to be left alone because, we don't know what's better. But in the end, we deal with life at the same stream of pots together. Each one of us do matter, including the carrot. It's just strange that my final year of high school was my happiest. I finally get to leave, but it also means I won't see the faces I like each day anymore. I know my ties don't end here. It's sad to go, but there's no definite end. We go on to live our lives and do what makes us happy. The key is just being content with yourself and finding those ingredients you relate to. The only thing stopping you from no longer being alone is yourself. It just takes 12 years of pestering in high school to realize this. Or, listen to some kid about his carrot analogies. It's stuttering. Hope that made some sense. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I'm so glad to be here at this moment in front of all of you. It's what I imagined as soon as I came to Oasis. I knew I would have a graduation speech. And it was just 3 years ago when I started, and when I decided to start my international life. And at the beginning, I was really fearful that what if this new family and what if this new society wouldn't accept me as a new member, because this school culture than what I grew up for my entire life. So I always want to be part of the society I'm in. So I was really scared that this society doesn't accept me as a new member. But none of these fears lasted as I started my first day of the school, at this school. And everyone was so welcoming and friendly that since the first moment I felt at home. And I didn't have any problem. Everyone treated me as they knew me before. And I can't tell you how great that feeling was at that moment, at that hard time that I had. And on the first day, everyone showed me what to do, where to go, where is my classroom, which is really confusing in this building, really, on the first day. And it continued till the last day I left the school. And not only that, even after I left the school, many people still remember me, and all those great associations reminded me that I could be part of this big family that I can never forget what you have done for me and how you have shaped me and the one I am now. And also I'm thankful for having my amazing family, my mom and dad, who have been supportive, and the main reason I made this decision. I got the opportunity to be at this school and have this incredible experience. To my own teachers, and I know my sister is probably saying really annoying but about me, and she knows that she's my bestie and my one and only sister. And to my own teachers who unselfishly spent their time and shared their wisdom and knowledge with me and helped me to grow up and be me. And congratulations to my first graduates of class of 2015. I hope to make this into friends, regardless of wherever we go. Thank you.
Good evening and thank you for coming. First of all, I would like to congratulate myself for graduating. For 3 years in Turkey and in Oasis, I had numerous opportunities to learn not just different school subjects, but about myself and others. Today, I would like to share the experiences that I will never forget. When I first came to Turkey, I felt like I was one of the tourists. Since I had arrived in July, I had nothing to worry about until the first day of school. After about 2 weeks, I was so bored that I wanted to go to school. However, after the school year started and as time passed, I slowly but seriously got homesick. Frankly, I hoped it was a dream and I wished I could go back to Korea when I closed my eyes and opened them again. Then I started to pray to God that the most regretful decision of my life would change into the best choice that I made. As I continued to pray, God helped me trust that He planned all this for me and it was not my own decision. Then I started to gain confidence in my future because I began participating more actively in schoolwork and relationships. Through this hardship, I learned that the answer for all my questions is to be enthusiastic. If you are passive, the problem remains. But if you find pleasure in small things and start looking for those, the problem becomes a lesson. Even though you do not find something interesting or find it hard, try doing it. Maybe your attitude will change and eventually you too will change. This was the most valuable thing I gained from Oasis, and it has become my motto. I definitely feel sad that my high school life is almost over, but I am glad that I have gratefully accepted the gift that Oasis gave me. I want to thank all of my teachers and my friends and family who stayed beside me and helped me go through the different experiences. Thank you, Mom, for bearing all of my whining and complaints. I'm also really sorry.
for all the seniors who accepted me as a half-senior. Thank you all the juniors. Even though we couldn't wear graduation gown together, I'm so grateful for the times we spent together in class. I thank all of my friends, including ones in Korea, for encouraging me regardless they are physically close to or far from. Finally, I thank all my teachers who taught practical things that I would always keep in my heart. Thank you all for listening.
I can't believe that this is the last time I'll be standing here in the atrium. For 8 years, Oasis has been an enormous part of my life. Leaving here feels like leaving behind a part of myself because so many of my memories of growing up are captured in these walls here. Looking back, it's amazing how much has changed. It seems like only recently I was in elementary school, walking upstairs to the library, terrified of all the tall upperclassmen on the 3rd floor. And now, I'm an upperclassman, at least. I remember sitting where you are countless times, listening to other seniors give their own boring graduation speeches. I never really appreciated, though, how hard it would be to say goodbye. It's incredibly difficult to find the words to explain how much living here has meant to me. I would not be the person I am today without the love and support and friendships I found here. And the memories I've made with so many of you will stay with me for a very, very long time. I want to take a minute, or a few minutes, I guess, to thank some of the people who enabled me to stand here today. First, my parents. I cannot express how thankful I am for all you have done, especially without crying more than I am right now. I truly couldn't ask for better parents. Your love and support and incredible patience mean so much to me, and I'm sorry that I don't play that more often. Despite how often you drive me crazy, Max and Bella, I know you're doing as well, and I wouldn't be who I am if you weren't who you are. Concerts, by the way, are also included in the family part, because we're basically related at this point. Now, there are so many teachers over the years who have impacted my life. Unfortunately, many of them have left over the years. But then there are several who have been so amazing this year and deserve more thanks than I can possibly explain in a short speech. Mr. Wong and Mr. Franco, thank you so much for being so patient with my ceaseless questions and constant cries of, but I don't understand why. Mr. Wise, thank you for being such a great teacher and an event director. I also want to thank you for being always open to discuss college and the States and politics. You've taught me how to articulate my ideas and always keep in mind the other side's point of view, and for that I'm very grateful. Finally, in this pocket, you've been so inspirational
trying to like calm down. So good evening, everyone. I didn't actually think that this day would come. My curious fourth grade self looking down at the atrium during my first visit to Oasis. My intimidated seventh grade self walking into the atrium for a first winter ball. My nervous ninth grade self playing saxophone in a jazz concert. My excited 11th grade self who was preparing for the luau on the stage would have never imagined what it feels like to be standing here today in a cap and a gown. During the past 8 years, Oasis has become intricately intermingled with my identity, and it's true, I am terrified to leave this place. But I do have to dive into a bigger world of possibilities with the new vision that Oasis has bequeathed to me. As a child, I always pictured my name next to names like Albert Einstein or Mahatma Gandhi in a series of biographies. My ambition led me the power to imagine myself as a superhero or the world's youngest billionaire. I haven't casted away my big ambitions yet because it's not like I totally imagine myself getting the Nobel Prize one day. Nevertheless, throughout my years in Oasis, I learned that being a positive influence on those around me is enough of a significant contribution to the world. Rather than being the cover of the Forbes magazine, I'd like to be memorialized by people's thoughts, like Kay led me to a right direction, or Kay brought out this potential in me, or Kay really encouraged me throughout this hard time. Therefore, just like how Oasis has completed the puzzle to create the Kay I am now, I want to pick up the pieces of other people when they really need to. So thank you, Oasis. Thank you, Mr. Pocket and Mrs. Benedict, for buttressing our class this whole time. Thank you, Ms. Pocket, for being Miss Rizzo for our class and leading us into exploration of sheep eyes, sheep brains, chicken muscles, and cow hearts. Thank you, Mr. Porterfield, Thank you, Mr. Porterfield, for attempting to drag me into the Star Wars world. It didn't really work. Thank you, Mr. Land, for your mischievous encouragement and affectionate insults. Thank you, Mr. Wang, for bearing all the whiny comments that just reiterated, I hate calculus, I don't understand. Thank you, Mr. Franco, for capturing me through all of my attempts to escape physics. Both calculus and physics taught me how to challenge my limits and how to strengthen my academic force. Wow. I'm almost. So thank you, Ms. Clark, also for teaching the self-defense skills and dance moves in music. Oh, and of course, instrument playing too. Thank you, Mr. Wise, for teaching me to trust myself and also to become a more holistic person with new and more broad perspectives. Thank you, the Habashi family, the Seneco family, Laura and everyone else who has supported me throughout the years. I would also like to thank my mother, who is unfortunately not here today. Being a petite woman as she is, she really managed to grow me without me ever noticing the empty spot on my father. She is the strongest person I know. Will always be an encouragement and a role model for me. Finally, thank you, my fellow graduates, for being the corner pieces of my puzzle. Without you guys, I wouldn't have known where to start or where to put my other pieces of me. Thank you so much for all the memories, the clapping to greet the mosquitoes, and intense playing of the dominoes, and allowing me to call you guys by names like Tony or Merle Butler. Yeah. Please don't forget how exceptionally brilliant, talented, and simply amazing you guys are. I love you all great. And yes, favoritism, but Sophie, this is a payback. I know there were times when I didn't appreciate you as much as I could and I should have, but you're truly like a sister to me, and now it seems like I have to learn how to live without you, and I can't really imagine that. we've come a long way from where we began. But when we see each other again, and hopefully we'll arrange a reunion, I will tell you all about my adventures outside of Oasis. And thank you all for coming tonight.
Well, we are incredibly proud of all of you graduates, and thank you for those speeches. You really have shared your hearts with us. We see a little bit into your world, and we know that you are just going to have a very, very bright future. There's no doubt in my mind. Thank you for sharing yourself with us this evening, and some of you for New Year's here at Oasis. You will be missed. You will definitely be missed. We love you, we appreciate you, and congratulations. In just a few moments, our seniors will leave the stage. When they return, you will have a wonderful opportunity to take lots and lots of photographs this evening. You'll also have an opportunity to throw your cap, which is huge, right? Been waiting for it the whole evening. So if you will bear with us and just remain seated, we will have those photo opportunities for you here in just a moment. Afterwards, we would love you to go into the canteen and take a look at all the seniors' tables and their wonderful accomplishments and photographs, and then we would love you to share a reception with us outside. Thank you.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. All the planes we flew, good things we've been through, that I was standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. Oh, how could we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes first, then the line will never be crossed. The steps in on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. Oh, how could we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. Let the light guide your way, yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take, the lights lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you